Dropped you already. Welcome everybody. I'll advise that the meeting will be digitally recorded, which in accordance with our council policy, to assist in the preparation of minutes and to allow for live streaming. A reminder to those in attendance to ensure their mobile phones are switched to silent throughout the meeting. The Circular Council acknowledges the North West Tasmanian Aboriginal people as the traditional custodians of the country on which we stand, meet and play. We recognise their continuing connection to the land, waters and community. We pay respect to elders past, present and emerging. Attendance, we're all here. Upstanding for prayers, please.
Let us take a moment to clear our minds and focus on achieving outcomes that serve the greater good of the whole community. May light illuminate all present and support everyone to bring their highest and best selves to the debate and the decisions made here tonight.
Thank you. Before we go on with the actual meeting, I'll throw to the Deputy Mayor, who has some stuff she wants to do.
Through you, Mr Mayor, I just wanted to acknowledge someone in our community who I think deserves a huge thank you for everything she's done over the past 44 years of running Lizzie's This and That, Mrs Elizabeth Gale. She's recently sold her business and after 44 years is going into the next phase of life, so hopefully her retirement is a long and happy one. I know she's been struggling with her health. Her contribution to Circular Head extends far beyond her successful business though. For more than 4 decades, she's been a constant and valued presence in our community. But it's perhaps Elizabeth's deep commitment to honouring our war history that truly sets her apart. Through her tireless volunteer work with the RSL and her dedication to preserving and sharing the stories of our servicemen and women, Lizzie's made a lasting impact on how our community remembers and respects those who've served our nation. Her carefully curated displays and commemorations for Anzac Day, Remembrance Day and Vietnam Veterans Day and many other services have provided a meaningful focal point for reflection, ensuring that the legacy of courage, sacrifice and service continues to be understood and appreciated by generations to come. Her work has embodied the very best of community spirit, quiet dedication, respect for history and a deep love of place. She's given freely of her time and her talents to enrich our collective memory and strengthen the bonds that unite us as a community. So on behalf of our council and the people of our municipality, I extend our sincere gratitude to Lizzie for her remarkable service and contribution, and we congratulate her on an exceptional 44 years in business and thank her for the enduring mark she's left on Smithton and on the wider Circular Head community. We wish her every happiness as she embarks on this next chapter, and her legacy of service, remembrance and community pride will continue to inspire us all. Thank you.
Thanks, Deputy Mayor, and I think obviously as a council we completely concur with your words, and I presume she's still working through this Remembrance Day just gone. So
just couldn't be there, but
yep.
she put it together.
Yep. So thank you. Now we move on with the meeting. 2.1, confirmation of the minutes of the ordinary meeting, Circular Council, 16th of October 25. Could I have a mover and seconder they be confirmed as a true record? Thanks, Councillor Dabner. Seconded Deputy Mayor. No debate? Put the motion. Those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Any councillors with any conflicts of interest at all? Thank you. We'll move on. 4.1, the Mayor's communication. There's a number of meetings and functions there. Is there any questions on any of those? Councillor Collins?
The renewals developments, the Cradle Coast Authority support. What was that?
What date are we on?
21st the 10th.
21st. New developments, Cradle Coast support. And yes, the new CEO of Cradle Coast and Bonnie, who works in that area, came down to met with Paul and myself in relation to where was that. We had quite a fruitful discussion, I think you'd put it down, and they're fully understanding of where we sit as far as community funds, etc. go. But it was wider ranging than that, but that was the basis of what they was asking and their understanding of our position.
Thank you.
Councillor Flowers.
I lost it now. Bass Highway discussion on the 24th of the 10th, what was that with or with it?
That was in response to an email from Councillor Dabner, actually, and there was, we had a chat about garnering information. We'll say it was in response to an email around all the councillors, Councillor Dabner, or just around all the councillors back then?
Yep.
And
Yeah, I just thought some of the public probably want to understand what.
yeah, it was in relation to gathering information. We tabled it. That information's come through anyway via varying ways. So that was what the discussion was about.
Yep. And also on 24th. No, not the 24th. Where is it? Oh, 23rd. Compliance matters meeting with local business owners. What was that?
That was one of the meetings with the builders and the extended. There's builders, Arcus Franksy was there, and two or three builders in the start of what Paul and James have been putting together to assist in the flow of work through our planning department and through there. So it was the second one of those, which there'll be a number more till it gets rolling on.
And how have they been, like, they appreciating this?
Yep.
Like, is it they finding some answers or some ground?
Would you like me to expand that?
Yeah, I'll pass to the CEO.
So, through you, Chair, I do believe it's been received incredibly well. It's resulted in the formation of a more formal group, or a building industry advisory group for council, not a committee of council. It's something that I felt was necessary in order to for us to learn from what some of those issues are from the industry, so we can then become an enabler for better outcomes for business, rather than being seen as being a possible handbrake to them delivering what they need to do, but at the same time an opportunity to educate and to inform. So we asked for representation from across the building industry, and we've had 12 separate organisations agree to be part of this advisory group moving forward, and that will form part of our ongoing continuous improvement programme.
No, that's good. I'm pretty happy with that because the whole attitude weren't good going back.
Yeah, we get, and the basis of it is we're here now. We can't do nothing about what might have happened X amount of years ago, but we can improve and go forward with it from there.
And
Councillor Flowers again.
also on the 6th of the 11th with the APCA Management Committee meeting, was there anything? And Ashley'd like to hear out of that?
No, I did ask a question about expanding on where funding had gone, and that's sitting in the confidential basis at the moment, so I can't pass that on.
James just said it.
So there was a standard meeting, and I did ask the question about, I think one of you asked about where the funding, or how much the funding gone where.
Yep.
And it's sitting in the confidential boat at the moment, so I can't answer it.
Can you answer that in confidential?
No, because it's a ministerial committee, not a council committee.
Yeah.
Completely separate. So I'm sorry. I personally wouldn't mind, but I'm not allowed to.
Worth a try. Thank you.
Councillor Pilkington.
The Marrowa drop-in, how did that go?
Well, it's probably the least attended of the lot. We had a good chat to the owner, Michelle.
Kelly, oh, Michelle, yeah.
Had a good chat to her, which was quite interesting. And but that was about. Had a nice coffee, and that was about it.
Yeah, the intent of these drop-ins is not to necessarily get lots of feedback from the first for the first visit, but to actually just show a presence in the community and keep the door open, and and be seen as being doing it as well. So the more visible we are, the more likely people are to want to talk to us in the future. So it was a good start.
And we found with the three what I found, I presume Paul as well, but with the three that we've had, is that it is a much more relaxed. If people come into the chambers to see you and discuss stuff, it's much more relaxed just sitting around a table having a coffee and a chat. So far, yeah, they're worth the effort, put it that way. No further? Could I have a move and a second that they be noted, please? Thanks, Councillor Collins. Seconded Councillor Hine. Put the motion, those in favour.
Aye.
Against, carried. 4.3 workshops we've had there. If there's no questions or anything on those, if we'll then move in a second that they be noted as well. Thanks, Councillor Hine. Seconded Councillor Pilkington. No debate, put the motion, those in favour.
Aye.
Against, carried. 5.1 nil, 5.2 nil, 5.3 questions without notice. Council encourages community participation in this meeting through providing this opportunity for public questions and statements consistent with the Council's core values. Councils and staff strive to ensure all people are treated with courtesy, fairness, dignity and respect, and we expect our residents and ratepayers to apply similar standards in dealing with councillors. As Mayor, it is my responsibility to maintain the orderly conduct of a council meeting and determine whether a question or statement is out of order due to the use of offensive, objectionable or defamatory language. I ask the members of the public to show proper consideration and courtesy, and tonight I intend to give everybody who wishes to speak the opportunity to ask 2 questions or make a statement if they wish. Any more than 2 questions may be permitted at my discretion. So if anyone wishes, now is the time for any questions about any planning matters that you may wish to ask as well. So if anyone wishes to speak, ask a question or make a statement, please come to the guys at the front, state your name clearly for the record and pose your questions. Nope. Okay. That was a nice little
Shy.
nice little speech for nothing, wasn't it? 6.1, which is the planning. So I remind councillors we're now sitting as a planning authority. Sally.
Yes, through you there. Item 6.1 is for development application of DA 2025-72 at 8 Branson's Road, Highgate. For retrospective approval for outbuildings and extensions of existing buildings. The recommendation is for refusal. I will give a brief overview of the site. The application, particular provisions rely on the discretion and concerns raised in the representations. Just checking, ma'am, if you can hear me clearly.
Yeah, turning you
good.
on. Better now. All good.
Excellent. The site, as shown on page 2 of the planning report, is outlined as blue. Is rectangular in shape with approximately 46 metres frontage onto Ranson's Road, along its northern boundary with an approximate depth of 66 metres at the southern boundary. The site has an area of 3,075 metres square and is currently developed with a dwelling and associated outbuildings. The land is assigned to the rural living zone. The site is accessed directly from Ranson's Road and is in an unserviced area. Figure 2 on page 3 of the planning report shows the location of each proposed building within the context of the site. The existing buildings with planning approval are highlighted in blue, which includes the existing detached single dwelling and 3 outbuildings. Attached to the corner shed were a carport on either side, which have gone from open on 3 sides to be fully enclosed, with extensions added onto each built-in carport, both west and north. The application relies upon 2 performance criteria under the Tasmanian planning scheme. One relates to the site coverage, total amount of roofed buildings, and second, the siting and bulk of buildings in relation to the eastern side boundary and rear boundary. It is noted that as part of approved planning permit DA 2021/116 included a replacement dwelling with a site coverage of 350 metres square. The existing dwelling was to be demolished and a new larger dwelling to be built. This part of the approval has not proceeded to date, but could be acted upon as the planning permit has been substantially commenced through the development of the outbuildings. The application is made on the basis that the buildings will be converted back to be used as outbuildings for private purposes in association with the established single dwelling. As set out in the planning report, starting on page 7, the application cannot achieve performance criteria for site coverage, as the proposed site coverage, including the new dwelling, is 832.66 metres squared, and is not considered to be consistent with site coverage existing on the established properties in the area, having regard to the character of the development. As set out in the planning report starting on page 10, the application cannot achieve the performance criteria for setback and siting, as the siting of the outbuildings, albeit up to the side of rear boundary, are not consistent with the setback, height, bulk and form of existing buildings and the character of the development existing in established properties in the area, and will cause an unreasonable loss of amenity to the adjoining properties. There have been 2 representations received during the exhibition period by adjoining property owners. Matters of concern raised are addressed and set out in the planning report starting at page 4. In general terms, matters of concern were the blatant disregard for the owner's legal obligations, potential non-compliance from a construction perspective, any new owners left to handle future legal issues, failure to comply with boundary setbacks, with potential harm to adjoining properties, loss of amenity to adjoining properties due to close proximity to shared boundaries, and setbacks not reflecting the character and amenity of other properties. The retrospective application has come about with council officers following their obligations to enforce the requirements of the planning scheme. A planning application can only assess and take into consideration matters addressed and managed by the planning scheme. Issues of construction standards are matters managed separately under the Building Act. Further, any legal obligations of any future owner is a legal matter for their consideration. Issues of reduced setback and amenity have been addressed in the assessment against clause 11.4.2 and 3 in relation to the eastern and rear boundary setbacks. Taking into consideration the concerns raised and the application assessment against the standards within the planning scheme, a recommendation for refusal has been put forward.
Thanks, Sally. Any questions before I move into move 6? If not, is there someone willing to move the report? Thanks, Councillor Oldacre.
Mr Mayor, I move the recommendations that are before us.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? Councillor Flowers? Yes, Councillor Oldacre.
In moving through the recommendations that are before us, it's quite evident that there's been some work done there that have not fitted the planning scheme, and everybody has to apply with the planning scheme, and therefore I fully call the council to support the recommendations.
Thank you. Councillor Flowers, you wish to speak?
Yeah, the setback on the building is nowhere near enough to what it should be in the rules and regulations, and I don't know how it ever got to this stage, but I suppose there's people out there building what they want to build.
Thank you. Any other speakers, for or against? I'll be supporting the motion as it sits for the very reasons basically stated already. I'll put the motion. Those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you, councillors. I remind councillors that we're now returning to standing orders or to our council meeting. We'll go to 7.3, councillor questions without notice. Councillor Flowers is moving.
Can we as a council charging our rates for something that we don't supply? If we're charging a fee for something and we don't supply it, can we legally do that?
But you'll need more on your question than just that, councillor Flowers.
Well, rightio, I promised someone I wasn't going to bring it up, but with our rural rubbish collection, the farmers are getting charged for White Hills, and now they're being expected to pay for White Hills. We've been charged it, so are we legally allowed to charge it and then double dip? Because I didn't think we were.
Yep.
Sorry,
Right.
Paul.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry, you finished? Yep, Rachel?
so through you, Mr Mayor, the reason why we charge, and everyone gets that, that across the board rate, is to run the White Hills transfer station or to run the waste transfer station, so we have a facility. It's not a user pays only, because it would cost too much just for one person to dump rubbish there. So every person or every property in the municipality needs to contribute a certain amount to the actual running of that facility. On top of that, if you've got businesses and whatever, then that's a different story. So that's where the charging comes in terms of that. What you're saying is whether people choose to use it or not, that's up to them. They can still take their household waste there, they can still take their green waste there free of charge, which is basically included in that rate. So it's like your wheelie bin. It's the same thing. We can't run a wheelie bin service with people opting in and opting out because it's not financially viable, and it's the same with the running of the transfer station. So, yeah. Mr Mayor?
Yep, no worries.
Yep.
Councillor Oldacre looks keen.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything, but in relation to this question, the Finance Director, I don't think you quite understood what Councillor Flowers asked. Let's just take it another step. When we went away from the supplying tip tickets to everybody, we made it so that we would put a levy on their rates to run the White Hills transfer station. He was a farmer, he was treated the same as anybody else that got the tickets. Now that's my interpretation of what was agreed to back in 2019 or 18.
2020.
Yeah,
2020.
in that 1920 budget. So that's my understanding, and I just thought that
Yep. Can I go say a little bit more there,
Yeah,
Mr
well,
Mayor, too?
there was three of us at the table when that resolution went through, and my understanding is different to Councillor Oldacre's, only on the fact that a farm's a business. That's the only bit that there's a difference in my understanding. So yes, now Rachel,
Yeah, I
did
think
you?
I've forgotten what I was going to say. No, it's all right. I think just to probably correct a little bit in there, the payment by each property was still there even when the tip tickets were there. So it wasn't just that you got 10 tickets and that's all you had. You still paid the money in your rates, but you also got 10 tickets, but it ended up being a black market of tickets. So that's why the tickets were removed and household rubbish got to go for nothing. I think where it's probably getting confused, and I can't remember what that was a number of years ago now, and your memory's probably a smidge better than mine, Councillor Oldacre.
I'm a bit older too.
That it's a fundamental question about whether you want mums and dads to subsidise businesses. That's the question. So a farm is a business, a shop is a business, anything that is there for a profit-making motive. Do you farm just as a hobby farm? Do you not? Are you in business just for the fun of it, or do you want to make money? So that's the difference between somebody taking a household piece of rubbish out there and somebody that's actually running a business, because whatever goes through that waste transfer station, that waste levy is getting higher and higher and higher, and the more that businesses put in there, the more that everybody else pays for it. So
Yep. Thanks, Rachel. We will obviously, this has created some interesting debate over the last workshop, and again on the questions of Councillor Flowers and Councillor Oldacre tonight. So we'll obviously bring this back as we go forward to review the whole policy of it, but it will be looking into next year's budget. So we're not going to workshop it now, but if
No, I'm
there's a
not going to
question.
workshop it now.
Yeah, right. Is there a further question?
I didn't want to get it involved in this because Paul has promised me that we will be looking at it.
Yep.
Just that I've had a few more complaints, and I sort of told them I will bring it up.
Yep.
Yeah, some of the stuff that's been said here I disagree with, because there's certain businesses, and I'll put it down as a rental property. Does that come under a commercial business? But we'll discuss it at a workshop, because you are making money from a rental business, and we cannot police. We don't even know who's Airbnb, so how are we going to know what's a rental business?
Once again, we're heading towards workshopping it.
Yeah, I understand that. That's what I'm saying. I didn't want to go down this track. It sort of led it away from where I first planned.
So that, all those things, I'm sure we will have a very interesting and robust discussion when we land it on the workshop table.
Certainly.
As it should be. Okay. Councillor Hine.
Yeah, just to following up on that then, at the next time we have a workshop on it, so can we be furnished with the original motion so that
that was circulated this week.
It's in your emails.
Thank you.
Yes, I sent it out earlier this week, and that's what's led us to the place where we are now, because it's clearly a policy decision where there was no differentiation made within that resolution 5 years ago. So we do need to workshop it.
Thank you.
Yes, Councillor, but Phil, what else? As he said, Councillor Hine.
Never.
With the Montague Road, we've got an estimated time when they will be sealing it, just that I've had quite a few complaints about that.
Yeah, certainly through you, Mr Mayor. Latest news from the contractor was that they were intending to seal it next week, although next week I know looks quite wet, so it would not surprise me if it's the week after next to complete that work.
No, that's right. Thank you.
Any further questions around the table?
Thinking.
Thank you. We move on. Thank you, councillors. No notices of motion. Reports. So we have the adoption and phased implementation of the Smithton Town Centre Plan. CEO.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Obviously, this was brought to the table last month, and it's led to some robust debate around the wording of the resolutions. So it's retabled this month with amended resolutions to make it clear in this instance that it is a reference document, as all of our documents are, I might add. There is nothing to tie your good selves, in fact, to these documents. They're there with some guiding principles, and in addition to that, with a view to being very focused on what is achievable, both financially and resource-wise, over the short term. It's proposed that it was broken down into 2 phases, with the implementation plan, the first phase just being part of what is actually formally adopted here, just to put that additional focus. And as councillors will be aware, and in fact the executive team met over the last couple of days to discuss how best to present those projects that will form part of our long-term financial plan, and this Smithton Town Centre plan is part of that process as well. So it's tabled for your consideration once again.
Thank you. Any questions before Councillor Flowers?
How long is the lifespan of this? Like, how long are we going to have it before we throw it away and build a new one?
The idea of the plan is to provide some initial focus around what are going to be the transformative projects that can actually make a difference in terms of the town centre itself. Any plan that of this nature needs to be iterative as the environment changes, as we learn about the town centre, as we hear more about from our community as well, and it needs to be adapted as we go. But it is there to provide some fundamental principles, and I'm confident that over the coming months you'll start to be able to assign some projects to it over that 3 to 4 year period that we can then look to implement.
No worries. Thank you.
Councillor Odoga.
I rise to move the recommendation that is before us, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Odoga. Is there a second to the motion? Councillor Pilkington. You wish to speak, Councillor Oldacre?
No.
Councillor Pilkington?
I support this motion, and I trust that this will be a long-standing document to be referred to.
Any further speakers? Councillor Flowers?
I'm happy to see that there's not too much environmental sea level rise, that sort of greening stuff, all that's been removed. The only one I can see there is we're going to plant a few trees, as long as we're planting the trees, the right type of trees in the right spot. As we can see, as you come in from out this way, planted under the power lines in the past, and they look absolutely shocked now.
Can I speak to that point?
Yeah, you can. I'll have to agree with that point there.
I think you will get fairly common support from those people who observed what's been done to those trees, Councillor. To the point where we requested that we get eyes across all future work plans that actually are going to affect trees or any infrastructure that TasNetworks decide to undertake. We suspect that there has been some variation in how they've conducted their work, particularly in tree trimming, and we understand actually that those trees on the entrance to the town they've been instructed to cut them back because it's not going to be done annually. It's going to be every 2 years. Hence the radical nature in which you've probably observed the level of tree trimming. In order to get better eyes across this, we've been quite adamant that we, as being the community-facing group, both through your good selves and ourselves, that we need better eyes across what is actually planned so we can help communicate that and manage community expectations.
Yeah, the trees up there are a disaster, as I said, but they should have never been planted there.
Point of order, Mr Mayor.
I nearly got away with it.
You are only allowed to speak once to the motion. Councillor Flowers is on his second go.
You're quite right. Thank you, Councillor Oldacre.
He's a good man, though.
Nicely picked up, thank you. Is there any other speakers? Councillor Hine?
Give it to him.
Well, in reference to those trees, and I agree with what's said, it does look shocking, and I don't know how they'll survive. Actually, you get a good wind, they'll be over backward. Can we go back and trace whose recommendation for a start off they put there, and what sort of research was done?
Point of order, Mr Mayor.
Councillor Oldacre?
Is we've got a motion on the books, a recommendation. What Councillor Hine is talking about has nothing to do with this motion.
I'm afraid, Councillor Hine, I'll have to agree with Councillor Oldacre on this occasion.
Thank you.
But I'll answer your question after the meeting.
Good.
Anyone else wish to speak to the motion?
Too frightened.
You have the opportunity to sum up. Well, no, we've all been in agreement. So, no, I'll put the motion. Those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. That's a bit of a circus, wasn't it?
Well, you
Circus. The clown was up here. The clown was the end of the table.
We go to 9.2, CO.
Yes, thank you. What these are the Local Government Association of Tasmania's notice of motions for the AGM and conference that the Mayor and others, along with myself, will be attending next week in Hobart. For the community's reference, these are the motions that are tabled by various councils around the state, and they're seeking support in a variety of different ways, all outlined in the report. These have been discussed already at a workshop, and today now we'll be seeking formal confirmation of council's position in terms of what you wish to support and what you don't wish to support, to allow the mayor to vote on behalf of council next week at the AGM. We do have a record of the discussions from last week, which is on the screen in front of you. And what I propose that we do is go through them individually, and then if these still stand, then I would ask that you consider having a single vote to adopt all of those positions, if that's agreeable, Matt.
Yes, certainly. So, Julie, right, this is where we got to in the workshop up here, but so we just go through them one at a time. One, which we were supporting, which was the advancing the circular economy. The second one, political government workforce renewal program, we weren't supporting. The third, the dark sky planning guidelines, we weren't supporting. The fourth, Public Disclosure Act, we weren't supporting. The fifth, legislative powers to local government under boundary fence, we weren't supporting. Retrospective leave for councillors, we were supporting. Enhanced flood risk management through policy alignment and local data recognition, we were supporting. State waste levy reinvestment, we weren't supporting. The mandatory online learning for local government elections, we weren't supporting. The review and clarifications of 28ZN of the Local Government Act 1993, we were supporting. LGBTIQA inclusion and equal opportunities, we weren't supporting. We're saying because it's covered in the legislations already. And the consultation agreement, number 12 there, we were supporting. Everybody comfortable with that? Now, we've got notes on that of why, whatever, etc., discussions around the table, but any questions before we move on that, before we move and second that? Yes, Councillor Flowers?
Can the general public see our notes and that on that? Because some of them questions, they're probably looking at them and thinking, why? Like, I understand why, but the general public probably don't understand why. That's just, yeah. Especially, there's one there.
Worth 5 minutes.
Number 11.
Number 11,
Number 11, yeah.
would probably
Yep, well,
Thanks.
yep, good point, thanks Councillor Flowers. We'll go very quickly at a high level. We'll go to the CEO and then we'll go through them. That'll be a record for him then.
Yeah, with the permission of the council, maybe we go through it line by line and we just briefly touch on what the general feeling was around the table. Would that address, because it's a very valid point, councillor.
Yeah, I'm just, for the general public out there watching this, wherever they're watching me, they're probably looking at that thinking, well, why are you doing that?
Yep, why not?
Indeed.
Yeah, and if they don't know the background.
Yes, of course. Yeah. So, generally speaking, this you'll all recall this was a really very robust debate across all of these areas here. So, from the top down, advancing the circular economy across Tasmania. This was, generally speaking, looking at how we all, as a range of different councils, and recognise the collective impact that we have on one another and the opportunities that arose from actually thinking about our economy in a more connected way. Hence why that was supported. The development of statewide local government workforce renewal programme was not supported. My general recollection around this was mainly because it was relating to the fact that each council around the state has its own unique challenges, and in fact it is probably less about renewal and more about how we think differently about our workforce of the future. The Dark Skies planning guidelines for Tasmania was not supported, mainly because of the fact that there are conversations in place already with planning legislation and on a case-by-case basis. So it felt that that was not necessary. The Public Disclosure Act, there's already work underway in this place, so that was not supported. Legislative powers to local government under the Boundary Fences Act was felt that it wasn't necessary. Forgive me, have you got a particular why that wasn't supported? Have you got further information, Matt, at all?
For the Boundaries Fences
Yes,
Act one?
yes, in particular.
I was more around the enforcement from a resourcing point, in that we would then have to put someone on to enforce those particular changes that they were wanting to beef up.
Yeah,
We considered it a police matter, really, and
Also on that one, we did talk about if someone's cattle gone on the road, then we may be liable for their fence not being good.
Indeed, councillor. Indeed, yes. I recall that conversation. There's a lot of liability issues that arose from actually supporting that particular motion. Retrospective leave of absence for councillors. There are a whole range of occasions that may result in unexpected leave being taken, and so this was supported, and it isn't something that's captured currently. Enhancing flood risk management through policy alignment and local data recognition. There is a lot of work being done in this space, and the more intelligence we can gather from across the state, the better, to work in a more collaborative and conjoined way. The state waste levy reinvestment, particularly focused on reinvestment to a particular section of the community. And it was felt that that wasn't something that this council would wish to support. Mandatory online learning for local government elected election candidates. This was a particularly interesting conversation because of the fact that there isn't a general sense that the tone or the purpose of learning versus capability has been struck at the moment. So to make it mandatory, it doesn't recognise prior learning or experience. So it wasn't felt that that was going to be supportive. Is that delicate enough, Councillor Oldacre? Review and clarification of Section 28ZN of the Local Government Act. This was supported because there is a level of duplication involved with two particular parts of the Act. LGBTIQA plus people inclusion and equal opportunity. This wasn't supported for no other reason that it was felt that there was ample recognition through various pieces of legislation around inclusion and equal opportunities. And this council completely supports the concept and the purpose behind this particular topic, but I felt that it was adequately represented already through existing legislation. And the consultation agreement was around terms of consultation with the community and with councils when the state government should wish to undertake a particular change, and that was supported. Does that accurately reflect around the table?
In a nutshell.
Thank you. Well, dear.
I do listen.
Right, is there any other questions, or if not, can I have a mover? Then thanks, Councillor Collins. Seconded, Councillor Dabner. Wish to speak, Councillor Collins?
No, thank you.
Councillor Dabner?
no, thank you.
Any other speakers? Not to put the motion. Those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. 9.3, financial reports.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Through you, councillors, we have the financial reports for the period ended 31st of October 2025 before you. Received, once again, no applications for first homeowners grants, acknowledging 10 in total for the year. In terms of, on page 187, the comprehensive income statement, the actual year to date for the end of October is a surplus of over 7.04 million, but we do have a budgeted deficit proposed at the end of June of 1.5 million. In terms of the statement of financial position, we've currently got total community equity of nearly $318 million, which the bulk of that is in infrastructure, plant and equipment of $275 million. In terms of the cash flow statement, we've got a cash at the end of the period of $24.5 million. In terms of receivables, the last couple of months have been a bit up and down, which we talked about because of the due dates of the discount period, and the first instalment being the 1st of September, not the 31st of August as in previous years, based upon when the days fell. But it's come back to something that resembles normal at the end of October. So we've currently got 34.51% of rates outstanding compared to 33.99% compared to last year, which is probably due to the fact that we've removed 1.5% of the discount, so people might not be paying as much as what they did the year before and taking up that discount, so which seems logical. In terms of sundry debtors, we've got a current balance of 180 compared to 372 for the same time last year. And in terms of pension remissions that people have applied for and been approved that we've claimed back off the state, we've currently got 267,000 compared to 263 for the same time last year. On page 191, in terms of council's investments in term deposits and online saver, it's good to see some of those there actually still moving back up in the fours. Last time, I think most of them, apart from one, had gone back down into the threes. So still getting some interest on those there for council, which is good. We've also got the service area reports attached next and the cash graph. Just a couple of additional things that we've had our 2024-25 financial statements have been signed off in the last couple of weeks by the Tas Audit Office, which means that we can now go to doing our AGM prior to the 15th of December as per the legislation. We've ended up with a $1.5 million loss for the financial year, and want to say a big thanks to all the staff that have been involved with that and continue to be involved in that process, because it's a lot of work and it continues throughout the financial year, and there's improvements and stuff that we need to be working on in there as well too. So also we're just about to start to work on an amended budget for the current year that we're in, which will come before council post-Christmas with some of the changes and stuff that we've been workshopping over the past couple of months. So I'll present the October report for council's consideration, Mr Mayor.
Thanks, Rachel. Any questions? Councillor Flowers?
The money we put away for depreciation, that's just put on into a, like in the bank account, and we just collect interest on it. Yep.
Correct. That's part of that 24 million is made up of
Depreciation. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. No, that's okay.
Further questions? If not, could I have a move and a second that they be accepted? Thanks, Deputy Mayor. Seconded, Councillor Pilkington. No to vote? Put the motion. Those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. 9.4, Cradle Coast Authority Annual Plan and Progress Report.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Quite simply, as members of the Cradle Coast Authority, we're provided a copy of the annual plan and with regular progress reports. This is the progress report for Q1 for the 25-26 financial year, and it's tabled to be noted today. Thank you.
Any questions? Councillor Pilkington.
Firstly, I think the plan's set out very well. When we get to natural resource management, there's several things. Sustainable agricultural facilitator, National Soil Program, Tasmanian Weed Action. I don't think we know, well, I certainly don't know enough about these things to know whether this is correct or not, but I think we should be asking Cradle Coast, those departments of Cradle Coast, to be reported to us in a workshop.
We can certainly
do that and get the appropriate NRM chair to come and do that, but it's just, it'll be a little while we clear it out.
as a farmer, I haven't been aware, well, I have been aware of some of it, but I don't think it's in the mainstream farming realm, so we should be watching where our money's going.
Fine. Councillor Flowers?
When we do this, can we have them sitting at this table instead of on that screen? Because, oh well, I just seem you get a better response when you're face to face. On that screen, I don't think you do.
I can't absolutely guarantee that, but we can request that, yes. Can't absolutely guarantee it.
Just that since I've been on council for 3 years, I think they've only been here once, maybe twice.
Twice, I think.
Yeah, once again, we can request, and happy to request, but I can't absolutely guarantee that, no.
Just they like taking our money, but they don't like giving us the service. That's what
No, they give us good service, don't stress too much there.
Not very far to drive.
Any further? If not, can I have a move and a second that the report be noted, please? Thanks, Councillor Collins, second to Councillor Pilkington. No debate, put the motion, those in favour?
Aye.
Against, carried. 9.5, Solvent and Waste Management.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Mayor. So this is a letter of support in principle only for going out to tender for regional curbside waste collection. I'd just like to highlight the fact that this letter in no way commits us to signing up to any contract or any final tender, but in the absence of us not being part of the tender, then it actually would exclude us from taking advantage of it should it prove to be a cost-effective option. Hence why this letter of support was provided as an in principle, that we're prepared to be part of the discussion, and it's tabled just for you, just to be noted by this table.
Councillor Flowers.
Now, if this is successful and they get a good tender, and our machine's still working quite well, and we decide in 18 months' time, yes, we're going to want to join in, can we still join in, or is it all in together, or we don't have the opportunity?
My understanding is actually that we can, if we choose to, we can actually choose to come in at a point in time.
Yep, no, that's okay. Just that, in my opinion, it's pointless going in there if we've still got a rubbish truck that's still working quite well.
I understand. Yeah. It would be an interesting and insightful experience to at least be part of the discussion, and then we can kind of bring it to the table and look at the pros and cons around this table.
Yeah, because what notice I've took over the years, a second-hand garbage truck is not worth too much money.
No.
It'll be
we'll wear it right out.
It'll be not unlike the FOGO arrangement where we come into that when it becomes cost effective.
Yep.
Do so. Any other questions?
Just on,
yes, Councillor Hine.
on that one, then, so what we'd expect to get back if say 7 municipalities are part of it and we're not, will they give us an indication of what it would cost us if we joined in and made an 8th one or something like that? As far as
it's a little unclear at the moment, Councillor, exactly what that or how we would or what information we would actually get for consideration. At the moment, we're in it just as a temperature test of what the cost might be if we went in it as an all-in-one, and then we would then be able to pull it apart and just look at our options from there on in. It is really just to make sure that we're part of the conversation, nothing more at this stage.
Thank you.
No further. A mover and a seconder, please. Thanks, Councillor Debner. Seconded, Councillor Collins. Thank you. No debate. The motion, those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you, councillors. 9.6. Leo again.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Mayor. This is a piece of work that has been undertaken by Legat on behalf of councils across Tasmania, where it is a non-committal memorandum of understanding for information sharing only. It doesn't hold us or obligate us to doing anything, but it is something that Legat was doing on behalf of all of the councils, as I say, just to share information. So, as a member council, we've been asked to table this in order to adopt this MOU.
Any questions? Councillor Pilkington?
Going to reputational risk, I don't think we've looked at this. I mean, this is the first time we've seen this, is it not?
It is, Councillor. Yeah.
So I think we probably should table this for a workshop to be considered. It seems we're supporting the racing industry we've got no involvement in racing in Seculet, and I'm not sure if any of us know anything about the racing industry. And it seems it's in support of the racing industry without knowing what we're doing.
So are you moving a motion to lay it on the table, a procedural motion?
No, you first cab off the rank. You've got every right.
Yes or no?
Yes.
I do move so.
So you move a procedural motion that this is left on the table to come back to a workshop for next meeting, yeah?
I'll second it.
And seconded by Councillor Flowers. So there's no debate on procedural motions. I'll put the motion. Those in favour?
Aye.
Against? That sits there and comes back. Thank you.
About 100 years, I reckon.
No, it'll come, be debated and come back to the next meeting. So there's a bit extra workshop for us somewhere. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not so sure where but we'll have a look, yep.
Senior management report.
Oh, yeah, as this table will know, we're in a period of transition to a more intelligence-based reporting approach to the senior management report. There's a wealth of information in here already. It tends to be a point where we celebrate the achievements of the project work that's undertaken through the depot team and the wider infrastructure team, as well as, of course, our Beloved Connected Communities team. I won't spend too much time on it and invite any questions that you might have around its contents.
Thank you. Councillor Flowers.
15th to the 10th, Minister Vincent. What was that? Did you get any sense out of him? Was that a stupid question?
Oh, that's the one.
Always, Councillor. We always get. It was a very interesting meeting. I'd like to think that councillors and myself had the opportunity to raise the importance of the Bass Highway upgrade that is such a hot topic for our community. I believe that he did walk away knowing that, and there's been numerous conversations since that has supported its the really lifting its priority. So yeah.
Yep, no worries. Thanks.
Councillor Holdacre.
On the Minister Vincent's meeting, and I know that somebody was asking you some questions about the Bass Highway earlier on, but did I not read in their budget deliberations, the state government, that they have reduced their road funding for maintenance? Are you aware of whether that's correct or not?
I'm not aware, Councillor Holdacre, but
substantially, I might add.
But the money we're talking about is a different pot of money than the maintenance money.
No, it's not.
Sorry, Councillor Holdacre, yes it is.
If you want to argue with me, that's fine.
You're wrong,
But in essence, there was no funding from here to Marrow, even in Minister Vincent's.
The money we're talking about is from the Wynyard to West Coast, which is part federal, part state, which is the majority of the federal stuff is still there.
I think on this particular topic as well, as it's such a complex topic that probably is being given a little bit of a disservice by just having it this meeting pointed out in one of my meetings. The Mayor and I have got a scheduled meeting with the Deputy Secretary
I was going to upgrade everybody.
I apologise. Next week, and the Mayor will go into more detail about that a little later on. But it is something which there's an awful lot of conversations going on at the moment in order to really lift its profile.
Councillor Flowers.
On the 23rd of the 10th Coastal Pathway project. What are they?
This was a piece of work that, as we know, is being led through the Tarkan Progress Group, and it was the project manager that came to see me to update me basically on what was being planned and the conversations that were being had, and the hurdles that were trying to be overcoming by any kind of proposed pathway going through things like private land, etc. So it was just a briefing on what they hope to achieve in the longer term.
Can we find out what they're trying to achieve? Yeah.
Yes, I mean I can certainly. It's certainly something I can bring back to the table and share with you. It was in many respects, an aspirational plan. There's a lot of unknowns, particularly when it comes to private land ownership and access through private lands that they're still trying to work through. But I can share with you whatever I've been given to look through myself.
The main reason I'm a bit iffy about this because the depreciation schedule on something like this, it's all right for the federal government to come in and say, well, here's $30 or $40 million to go and build it, then we've got to pay for it. That's what most people don't understand. They don't understand the depreciation side, and this council can't afford that.
I'm very pleased that you've got this front and centre, councillors, yes, it would be certainly an interesting discussion around future ownership model for such a pathway.
Yep.
It needn't be sitting in on council's books. It is something that needs to be a conversation moving forward, particularly if it's running through private land, etc.
Councillor Popowski?
I note that the general managers met with the external committees, Western Area, Stanley, and the other one there, Marrawar. What was the theme of the meeting, other than introduction probably, and the commitment, or where they're going forward?
The purpose of those meetings are multidimensional, if you like. First and foremost, it was a meet and greet. It's quite clear that certain committees have a different relationship with council than others. It was my intent to reset that relationship to make sure we're getting off on a good footing, but also to explore with them potential future opportunities where we could be operating in a different model around our community assets, and to at least start teasing some of that out. That was the main purpose. So there was no one reason for each of the meetings, but it was really more of an exploratory exercise across the board.
Do these committees see themselves as infrastructure monitorers, or do they see themselves as community opportunities to enhance each of their areas to be part of their communities?
Well, it's difficult to give one single response to your question, Councillor. I mean, I think in the main, the great thing is about our committees, our management committees, because they're staffed by volunteers. There's clearly a commitment from the community and to the facilities in which they manage them. So there's a lot to be said for that dedication. We also have an awful lot of experience around the table and knowledge around the table. With some of our committees, the various codes that are being represented and the number of teams that are being that some of these management committees have an involvement with have grown exponentially over the years. And I think the whole subject of management committees and our interface with them has just become more and more complex as we try and make the most of our community facilities. So I think they're a group of incredibly well-meaning individuals, and we just need to make sure that our relationship with them is bearing fruit for our community.
Any further questions? Councillor Flowers?
The Taswater, on the the 20th of 10th advisory group meeting. What's actually mentioned there, and how big a take do we, like, saying the councils of Tasmania own Taswater, do they blow all their money themselves, or do we get a dividend out of that, or how big a dividend do
We
we
get a
get
dividend out of it. Yes, we do get a dividend. The purpose of that advisory group, it's made up of GMs or CEOs, as well as some mayors and a few councillors as well. It's a fairly small group, but it's to give a sense, I guess, of Taswater's operations at a subject matter expert kind of level. It's another channel for them, I guess is the best way to see it, for them to engage with member councils.
Yep. Thank you.
Any further questions? If I could have a move and a second that the report be noted, please. Thanks, Councillor Hine. Seconded, Councillor Dabner. Put the motion. Those in favour?
Aye.
Against, carried. 9.8. We have minutes from several places there. We'll give it time. Is there any questions or comments on any of those?
For you, Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to make an observation. At the next council meeting, we will start to see the minutes for the Dark Skies Committee come to be included in this list as well. I'd hate to put the chair of the committee on the spot, but maybe she would like to provide a little bit of an update in the absence of that in that agenda, if that's okay.
Yes, sir.
What would you, Chair?
Thanks, Councillor Cole.
Through you, Mr Mayor. We've had 2 meetings so far with the Dark Skies Committee. We've got a nice committee put together and we've got a working committee to support them. We're trying, it'll probably take at least 2 years to get a full accreditation that we would like to get as a recognised dark skies area for national recognition, and that would add some tourism experiences which may keep people here for extra days, extra nights or whatever. We've got some people from all different areas of the community that work in Bureau of Meteorology and CHAC and places like that that have got a lot of very valuable information that they're sharing with us, and that they're teaching all of us what their role, and they're showing we've all got different roles in this committee to make it very strong and communicate with each other so that we can take it forward, and hopefully within the next couple of years, as I said, we should have some accreditation, which then hopefully we can have some facilities that we can share with the general public and visiting public to be able to give them some dark sky experiences as far as, you know, planets and star constellations and auroras and things like that.
Thanks, Councillor Collins. So, questions and comments on that or the minutes in front of us? If not, can I have a move and a second that they be noted, please? Thanks, Councillor Dabner. Seconded, Councillor Hine, thank you. No debate? Put the motion, those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Right, so we now go to 10.0. Can I have a move and a second that we resolve by absolute majority that the matters listed below be considered in a closed meeting? Thanks, Councillor Hine. Seconded, Councillor Dabner. Put the motion, those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. And that the council resolve by absolute majority to go into closed meeting to consider the matters. Moving a seconder. Deputy Mayor, Councillor Hine. Put the motion, those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Wait, what's the name, guys?